Selection Sunday is now in the books, and the field of 68 teams has been officially set for the NCAA tournament. And 4 local teams are in: St. John's, Seton Hall, Iona and Fairleigh Dickinson. From Cinderella stories to battles between blue chips, March Madness has enough drama for everybody. But luckily for us, we have CBSN New York sports producer Chris Scaglione here on set to talk to us about the big tournament. So, Chris, there are 4 local teams in. Who do you think has the best chance to advance?
Right now, I'm going to go with Seton Hall. To me, Valerie, it's all about momentum. And out of the 4 teams, Seton Hall, I think, is the strongest. They were up and down during the season, but they finished very strong at the end. They had a really impressive performance in the Big East tournament. They have some impressive wins on their resume throughout the season. They beat Kentucky, who was a 2 seed. They beat Villanova, who was the Big East champion. They beat Marquette twice, and they beat Maryland. They almost won the Big East championship on Saturday night in the Garden. They lost just by a couple of points. They have a great coach, Kevin Willard, who used to be at Iona. He's done great. This is their 4th straight tournament, so they have the experience of being there. They have the head coach, and they have a star guard in Miles Powell, who's averaged 25 points over the past 6 games. So he's playing well. He's hot. Seton Hall is hot, and I think they're going to be a team to be reckoned with. They have a tough team in Wofford, who has a 20-game winning streak out of the Southern Conference. They're a mid-major. They're a smaller school. They're a better seed. They're 6th. Seton Hall's the 11th, but I like Seton Hall out of the 4 teams that we have in.
Okay, gotcha. So St. John's barely made it in after limping to the finish line, and they're actually a first 4 team that plays Arizona State on Wednesday night. Is this team capable of making any noise?
I don't think so. I hate to say that. I'm a big Chris Mullen fan, and he's a legend on the St. John's campus. This is his first tournament appearance as a head coach in his 4 years in Jamaica, Queens. But like I said about momentum, I'm a big believer in it going into this tournament, and they don't have it. They started the season 12-0. They made it past the first round of the Big East tournament. They have some good wins on their resume. They beat Marquette twice, just like Seton Hall did. They beat Villanova, but that's going further back. They really haven't had a really significant win in the past, maybe 4 weeks. They really they lost the 4 of the last 5. They've kind of limped to the finish line. They were actually the final team out of the field of 68 to make it into the tournament.
Oh, wow.
I was on the Jamaica campus yesterday. I think it was more a feeling of relief than happiness. I think a combination of both. And what they were preaching, Chris Mullen was preaching, that they have a clean slate. That everyone is 0-0 right now. They get to put the last few weeks behind them, and they get to start fresh. And they start with Arizona State, with the head coach in Bobby Hurley, who's another local hoops legend, just like Chris Mullen. So that should be an interesting matchup amongst the head coaches. Chris Mullen against Bobby Hurley, who's a high school legend and a college legend from Duke.
Okay. So how about Iona? They've got a David and Goliath matchup against number 1 seed North Carolina. Will their experience help them at all in this?
I think it will. I think they're not going to beat North Carolina, but I think going into the game, they're not going to be afraid of the moment. They're not going to be afraid of, facing a team like North Carolina. Last year they faced Duke. They hung around for a little bit. They were actually impressive in the way they hung around for the first maybe half of the first half. They wound up losing, but they really stood tough with them. And I think with their head coach, Tim Cluse, who has been in the tournament 6 out of 9 years at Iona, which is extremely impressive for a mid-major. He knows what his team has to do to get ready for this game. They're not going to just be happy to be there. And another thing they were preaching yesterday on the Iona campus was the fact that last year was the first number 16 seed to actually pull off a win in the 16 versus 1 matchup. UMBC beat Virginia last year, which was a monumental upset, one of the biggest upsets in sports history, in fact. So Iona has that to lean on. It's been done before. And Tim Cluse said yesterday he's actually going to show his team video of the UMBC win on Tuesday or Wednesday night, just to kind of inspire them and show them, hey, this can happen. It happened last year. Maybe the odds are against them because it just happened last year and we thought it would happen at some point. But hey, you never know. So it would have been better for Iona maybe to get a playing game because they would have faced a team more their level. But, who knows? You never know. Crazy things have happened. I don't think it's going to happen. I'm an Iona alum. I'd love to pick him in my bracket. I just don't think I can do it.
Oh, no.
Sorry to say.
All right. Fairleigh Dickinson is a 16 seed as well. They get an opportunity to play in the first 4. Is this a good spot for them to be in?
I think so. Yeah, I think this is where Iona would love to be as a 16 seed, facing another 16 seed, because you're facing a team more your level. Fairleigh Dickinson has never won a game in the NCAA tournament. This counts as a win in the NCAA tournament, even though it's a playing game, even though you're a first 4. If you could pull off a win against Prairie View A&M, a 16 seed, that would be a huge thing for this school. You know, a huge thing for this small school in Teaneck, New Jersey, to pull off an NCAA win. So instead of facing a number 1 seed like Duke, Virginia, Gonzaga, North Carolina, they get a chance to play a team at their level. And this is, I think, a spot that Iona would love to be in, because Iona doesn't have an NCAA win officially on their resume in the school's history. They've been there a lot, but they haven't had that win, so this would have been a good chance instead of facing on a Goliath, you know. So this is truly, Iona's a David versus Goliath. This is not. Fairleigh Dickinson, FDU, has a good chance to maybe pull off a win and have some great feelings. If they win, they'll play Gonzaga, and that's a whole different story. That's a number 1 seed. Then you go back to the David versus Goliath, but at least they have a chance to play a team as competitive as they are.
Gotcha. Well, let's talk about Final 4 picks. I think I'm going to go with Duke, Gonzaga, Kentucky, and Tennessee. So who do you think is going to go all the way?
Okay, so you got the 2 number 1 seeds in there. I'm going to go against you on Duke. Everybody loves Duke.
Right,
Duke is the overall favorite.
Yeah.
Everybody,
year after year, it seems like.
Everyone's betting them. They're a 2-1 favorite, which is one of the biggest favorites in a long time. So I hate going with everybody else. So I got to pick Michigan State out of that bracket.
Okay.
So I'm going to go Michigan State and Michigan, because that would be a pretty cool matchup in the Final 4. 2 rivals that just faced off yesterday in the Big Ten championship. On the other side, I'm going to go with Virginia. As I mentioned before, they lost to UMBC last year. I feel like that's been a rally cry. It should be a rally cry. If it isn't, they're crazy. And they were so embarrassed last year. I feel like they're going to turn it around this year and just have a humongous chip on their shoulder, and they're going to make a run. I feel like they're going to go all the way to the Final 4. And then out of the 3 ACC teams, well, there's 3 ACC teams, Virginia, UNC, and Duke. I'm also going to go with another team, UNC, which shows I'm picking against Iona. I have UNC going all the way to the Final 4. So Michigan State, Michigan, Virginia, and North Carolina. That's my Final 4.
Completely different between the 2 of us.
Yeah, so.
All right, I like it.